Welcome to Rewrite Her Voice, the podcast that takes a bold and compassionate look at the inner critic living rent-free in your head. You know the one. She's judgmental, perfectionistic, and never misses a chance to tear you down. But here's the truth. That voice isn't truly you. Each week, we dive into an honest conversation with powerful stories and practical tools to uncover where that inner mean girl came from, why she shows up, and how to rewrite her script. It's time to reclaim your inner voice, break the cycle of self-sabotage, and speak to yourself with the kindness and strength you deserve. If you're ready to stop letting your inner mean girl run the show and start showing up as your most authentic, empowered self, let's go. Hey, welcome back to Rewrite Her Voice. I am so freaking pumped that you're here. So I have a question for you. Have you ever noticed how often we choose what feels good right now without realizing we're sacrificing what would actually feel good later? Have you ever noticed that? So I was thinking about this recently because so many of us have goals, dreams, habits we want to build, or changes we want to make, right? We genuinely want these things. We want the stronger body. We want the healthier mindset. We want the business growth. We want the healing. And yet, we find ourselves scrolling instead of creating, avoiding instead of starting, putting things off until tomorrow or until Monday or until next month. And then we beat ourselves up for it. But I don't think this is actually a motivation problem, okay? I think a lot of the time it's a nervous system problem. Our brains are designed to keep us safe and conserve energy, right? They are constantly scanning for discomfort, uncertainty, effort, rejection, failure, and risk. So when it's time to do something that requires energy or vulnerability, our brain often offers us an alternative. Like, let's do it later, or you deserve a break, or maybe tomorrow, or I'm just too tired, or I don't feel like it. Any of those sound familiar? I know they sound familiar for me. Now, sometimes we genuinely do need the rest, okay? Don't get me wrong here. Sometimes we really do need to just do nothing. But sometimes what we're calling rest is actually avoidance. And those are two very different things. The challenge is that avoidance feels good in the moment and often makes total logical sense. The second you decide not to send the email, not to have the conversation, not to go for the walk, not to work on the project, there's often a sense of relief. The pressure disappears. The discomfort goes away. For a moment, it feels better. But later, we feel frustrated, disappointed, stuck, because while avoidance gave us temporary comfort, it didn't give us what we actually wanted. And that's where I think we need to start asking a different question. Instead of asking, what do I feel like doing right now? What if we asked, what would feel satisfying later? Or to go even deeper, what would make my soul feel good? Because there is a difference between relief and fulfillment. Relief is immediate. Fulfillment is lasting. Relief says, let's escape the discomfort. And fulfillment says, let's create the life we actually want. One of the things I've been practicing is allowing that initial resistance to exist without immediately obeying it, okay? That first, I don't wanna, that first wave of procrastination, that first feeling of overwhelm, instead of assuming it's the final answer, I get curious. What if this feeling is just a protective response? What if my brain is trying to conserve energy? What if this discomfort isn't really dangerous like my brain says it is? What if I don't have to listen to that first thought that shows up? Because here's the thing. The first thought isn't always the wisest thought. Sometimes it's just the loudest. When we give ourselves a moment to pause, we create space between the impulse and the decision. And in that space, we can ask, what matters most here? What would future me thank me for? What would create a deeper sense of pride, satisfaction, or alignment? Not because we're forcing ourselves, not because we're shaming ourselves, but because we're remembering what we actually want. Sometimes the walk feels better than the couch. Not before you start. Getting up off the couch doesn't always feel great. But after that walk, you're like, yeah, that was hard and I did it and I feel really good about it. Sometimes having the conversation feels better than avoiding it. Not before, okay, but after. Sometimes creating the thing, recording the podcast, launching the offer, doing the workout, or even washing the dishes or doing the laundry. It doesn't feel good at first, but it creates a kind of satisfaction that scrolling, avoiding, or procrastinating never can. And that's the invitation I want to give today. The next time you hear yourself say or think, I don't wanna, don't automatically push harder. Don't automatically quit either. I want you to get curious. Let that initial response settle and then ask yourself, what would feel really good right now? What would feel really good long term? Because those aren't always the same thing, okay? And we want the answer to both. Often the life we're trying to build exists on the other side of choosing fulfillment over that temporary relief. So now here's another invitation for you, okay? If this episode spoke to your soul, if you felt called out, I'd love for you to come join us inside the Rewrite Collective. It's the space where we build and we practice these shifts together, learning how to move beyond those survival patterns, beyond the self-sabotage, and beyond the old stories, so we can create lives that feel aligned, intentional, and fulfilling. You can find the link in the show notes. And if you're like, listen, Rach, I could really just use someone as a sounding board right at the moment because I don't even know where to start. I don't even know what would make my soul feel good. Can you help me right here, right now? Let's chat. Find me on social media or hit me up in the comments of this podcast right here. Let's chat. And remember, you are enough, okay? You are worthy and you are loved. Until the next time, love, Rach. Hey, my sweet friend. Thank you so much for spending time with me today on Rewrite Her Voice. If you loved today's episode, will you hit that subscribe button for me? And be sure to share it with a friend. If you're ready to quiet your inner mean girl and step into your own authentic voice, I would love for you to join me inside our Cultivating membership. Until next time, remember, you are enough.